What's going on, everybody? Christian Ballard, Ballard Sports Media, coming at you with my second and final video of Ballard Sports Media. No, I'm just kidding. Ha. Y'all knew I was kidding. We're not going anywhere. We're sticking around for a long time here at BSM. But this is my final playoff prediction video because there's two playoff games, at least for right now. Of course, it's expanding to 12 next year. But we already previewed the Rose Bowl. You saw it. If you didn't, go back and watch it. Really recommend it. Texas, number 3. Washington, number 2. Texas, a lone loss to Oklahoma early on in the season in the Red River rivalry. They outright win the Big 12. Final farewell to the Big 12. They're going to the SEC next year. But can they prove their dominance in college football? Are they really back? We're going to find out in the college football playoff. Can they play a close game with Washington? Can they knock off the undefeated Huskies? And can they advance to a national title? I already picked Alabama to beat Michigan in a pretty good game, actually, in the Rose Bowl game. This one, I don't know what to expect. What I'm going to predict, though, honestly, is a big shootout. And I want to break that down a little bit before we get to a score prediction. The line is Texas -4, and I don't blame them for that. I don't blame them for favoring Texas. In fact, I think Washington should be favored. But I think they see something in Texas that a lot of us don't. You know, when you look at Jonathan Brooks and what he's done in the run game, over 1,000 yards running. You look at the lead receiver in Xavier Worthy, 969 yards receiving. He's got 73 receptions. He's got 5 touchdowns. Adonai Mitchell, A.D. Mitchell, a former Georgia Bulldog, 10 touchdowns, 51 receptions for 813 yards. There's so many different weapons. Jatavian Sanders, tight end for Texas, and Quinn Ewers to work with. There's just so many weapons on this offense. And back in week 2 was their highlight of the season, going to Tuscaloosa, upsetting Alabama. If they were to meet in the national title, which they honestly could, would Texas beat Alabama again? That's a big question going into the playoffs that not even just I'm asking. A lot of people are predicting Alabama-Texas rematch. And a lot of people are saying, can Alabama get revenge? Or is Texas going to do something that we don't normally see where, you know, the saying, it's hard to beat the same team twice, right? Texas wants to go into this game, I believe, showing that they belong, that they want to send a message to the Big 12. They want to say goodbye, and they want to say thanks for the memories. But then they want to say to Greg Sankey and the SEC, hey, this is why you accepted us. It's more than just us coming over to the SEC to win a few games. They want to prove, and they hope this carries into next season in 2024, that they're not just a one, how do I want to put this? A one-hit wonder. They're more than that. And honestly, I think that's probably going to be the case. I don't know if they're going to win this game, though. I look at this game. I look at this matchup. Jonathan Brooks is good. C.J. Baxter is good. They got some great running back duos there. Quinn Ewers is great. Quinn Ewers is an amazing quarterback that a lot of people doubted a little bit. He's kind of that redshirt sophomore type of guy. He started at Ohio State, but he didn't start. His journey began there. And he has just taken on this role. Malik Murphy, by the way, the backup, is transferring out, from my understanding. Arch Manning, I have heard rumors that if something were to happen in this game to Ewers, who had an injury last season, I believe. But let's say something happens to Quinn. Is Arch Manning the guy? It's possible. I hope that all players in the CFP give it everything they got, and I hope everyone stays healthy so that we can have some quality football. And so that way no one gets hurt. Because honestly, it's a real life sport. It's contact, it's everything, and lives matter. So, uh, but Texas looks great. Looks really good. Has looked pretty good since that Alabama victory. And that's the key. That's the win. That's their signature move into the SEC. We went to Tuscaloosa and we took down Nick Saban. That's Sark for that's what he did. 34-24. Won by 10 points. Can't take it away from him. No matter what happens in the playoffs. Right? But I feel like this is their big dance. I know we're going to 12 teams next year. But does anyone honestly, show of hands, does anyone really believe that Texas is going to run into the SEC next year and still make a 12-team playoff and all this in 1 year? I don't think so. I don't think so. I think that Texas needs a big performance against Washington. I think Quinn Ewers needs a big performance against Washington. I think Xavier Worthy needs to ball out. They got some good receivers. Jordan Whittington, A.D. Mitchell, Xavier Worthy. That's a trio. Jatavian Sanders at tight end. What about the defense? Jalen Ford. We'll get to Washington in a second, by the way. Jalen Ford, the linebacker, leads in tackles at 91. Jaron Thompson is a DB with 3 interceptions. He leads the team for Texas in interceptions. What about Michael Penix, though? By the way, I go back to yardage for Quinn Ewers, 3,161 yards. Michael Penix, who, quite honestly, probably should have got that Heisman. That's my personal opinion. But it is what it is. 4,218 yards for Michael Penix. Looking good. Looking good, dude. 65 completion percentage, 33 touchdowns, 9 picks, 10 sacks, though. That's the thing. Texas does have a little bit of defense. Can they get to, Michael Penix? Jalen Ford has a sack. Anthony Hill is going to be the key guy off the edge. Ethan Burke, the defensive end, too. He's got 5.5 sacks. By the way, go back to Anthony Hill. He has 5. Those two guys combined have like 10.5 sacks. And that's going to be key. Byron Murphy, too, the defensive lineman, Byron Murphy II, has 5 sacks. Don't tell me the Big 12 doesn't have defense. Brent Venables is a defensive-minded coach for Oklahoma, and you're starting to see some defense for Texas. Maybe they are ready for the SEC. Maybe. We'll see. Let's go ahead and share screen here. The game on ESPN, not the actual game, but, the stats and everything. So the line has Texas at 4 points. 4 points. That's pretty close. That's pretty low. The quarterback matchup I mentioned, if healthy, Quinn Ewers, Michael Penix. That's a good matchup to have in this semifinal, I think. Now, I look at this and I say that Texas being favored is right. But are they being too hyped up? They got a 68% chance to win. Washington has practically a 32% chance to win if you want to round the 31.6, round it up. So I look at that. I say, okay, they love Texas. But Washington's undefeated. They won the Pac-12. They beat the same team twice in Oregon. The same Oregon that had a game where they put up like 81 points. I know it was like Portland State or whoever, but come on. It's not Bo Nix. He's a good quarterback. What about Washington? Dylan Johnson on the ground. 1,113 rushing yards. Rome Odunze, if I'm pronouncing it right, is the lead receiver. 1,400 plus yards. On the defense, Dominique Hampton, the corner, has 92 tackles. Jabbar Muhammad, 3 interceptions. It's more than just Michael Penix's show. They have a good defense too. But I notice it's really in their secondary. They love to tackle. They love to pick off. And I am kind of questioning Washington's linebacker core and the defensive line. I'm not saying it's bad or not good, but honestly, I mean, they got some good guys. I mean, they got Edufon Olofosio. I'm butchering these names, by the way. 3 sacks. Then they have Zion Tupuola Fatui. Is 3.5 sacks on the year, 32 sack yard loss. They got some guys. They got some edge rushers. Braylon Trice, 5 sacks. That's pretty good. I have not looked into injuries. So if I'm naming guys that are hurt, I apologize. I haven't done my research on injuries, haven't seen anything. There's plenty of time for guys to get better unless they have like really broken some bones or anything. And by the way, I'm no medical guy, so I don't know. But you got what? Count it 24 days. 24 days left until the semifinals on New Year's. So you got plenty of time for that. This will be a great game. The semifinal in the Sugar Bowl with Washington and Texas. I do think it's going to be a close game. I'm not sold on Texas's defense. Washington's defenses look pretty darn good. But I think Texas could take away the secondary. I really believe that. I think Dominique Hampton, I think Elijah Jackson in the back, Michelle Powell, these are defensive backs that they have that are probably going to play and see a lot of time, right? So I think you take those guys away on defense for Washington, Dominique Hampton, Jabbar Muhammad, you take away those guys, you can do whatever you want if you're Texas. This will be a big game. I would love to see an Alabama-Texas rematch. I would love it. But Washington, though, I love. Mayhem Matthew had him in the playoffs in the preseason. Go back and watch some Touchdown Tuesdays. We talked about it a lot. I think I had Oregon out of the Pac-12. Not that Washington surprised me. It didn't surprise me. I just favored the Ducks. But they proved me wrong. Not that I doubted, but I was wrong in picking Oregon. So for that, I got to pick Washington in this game. And Washington, I'm sorry I didn't pick you. I didn't doubt, but I didn't pick you for the Pac-12 in the preseason. I was like, I still like had a gut feeling like, I don't know about this year. But I said they could definitely make it. Actually, in the preseason, I think I said it would come down to USC and Oregon, which weren't we all wrong on USC? Oregon, we were pretty much right on up until the Pac-12 title game. But Quinn Ewers, Michael Penix, got to take those guys out if you want to win this game, right? Somebody's got to go down. I would love to see a Bama-Texas rematch, but I have a gut feeling Washington could pull it off. I think we get a really good and amazing Sugar Bowl here. I think it could live up to what the 2017-2018 Rose Bowl was with Georgia-Oklahoma. I'm not calling double overtime, but I am calling a shootout. and I'm calling a close game. Texas is favored by 4. I'm going to take the upset, and I'm going to say Washington gets it done 48-45 in the Sugar Bowl. Let's see a lot of offense. Maybe I'm underestimating the defenses a little bit, but I feel like these quarterbacks want to put on a great show, and I think these offenses are going to come firing on all cylinders in this game, and I think that it will live up to expectation and hype. Some people say Texas probably doesn't belong. I would disagree. I think they've outright beat everybody that they could outside of the Oklahoma loss. They've pretty much rolled over everybody, right? Washington, they're undefeated. They're a Power 5 champ. They deserve to be in. These two teams earned their way here. They got to play on the field on New Year's Day at 8:45 Eastern. So it's going to be a fun one. I can't wait. New Year's Day, we'll see you at the Sugar Bowl. I won't actually be there. I just kind of said it that way. You got to understand my excitement for these playoff games. I'm super hyped up. I'm pumped up. Let's go. Let's take Washington to win 48-45. Wouldn't surprise me if Texas pulled this off and goes to a national title. Wouldn't even surprise me. Any of these 4 teams could win the national title this year. That's how confident I am in this year's playoff. It could be Michigan, could be Bama, could be Texas, could be Washington. But I got, based on my predictions, I took Alabama over Michigan. I'm taking Washington over Texas. They have not met since the 2016-2017 Peach Bowl semifinal. I'm going to say they meet once again, but this time in the national championship. So I'm taking Washington in this game, and I took Alabama in the Rose Bowl. I love you guys. Jesus loves you. Keep your head up. God bless. Happy holidays, by the way. I love you guys. Thanks so much for all the love and support. Let's keep it going here at Ballard Sports Media. And by the way, a fun fact I don't think I mentioned, but the number 3 seed has made the CFP title game 4 times and is 1-3. So I don't even have the number 3 seed, a.k.a. Texas, winning this game. But had I picked them anyway, the record so far not good, but it's only been, 9-10 years of the playoffs? So anyway, we'll get out of here. Thanks so much for watching these videos. I love you guys. Let's keep it going, and let's keep growing in 2024 coming soon. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. God bless. And from an Alabama fan, Roll Tide. Ballard Sports Media, checking out. I love y'all. Peace.